Hello, everybody. Welcome back. That's a weird little thing on my camera. All right. I was ready, Marina. I didn't realize that there was a thing on the screen fixing the problem. Anyway, hello. All right, everybody. Welcome back. So we're on some of my favorite topics of meditation. I'll probably say that in every class, so don't worry. Please turn on your cameras. Want to see your beautiful face. Hi, Cornelia. How are you? Wonderful. Wonderful. It's good to see you. All right. So let's get moving. Where were we? We were talking about some interesting topics. What were we talking about? All right, cool. So we're in the middle of this discussion of the second problem of meditation. There are many problems of meditation, and we're kind of on the, I would say, probably where a lot of us are in the beginning of our practice is beginning to have some kind of stability when we're meditating on any kind of object. And we've gone through a long discussion on, well, what objects should you choose? Someone asked me what they should do for their meditation object today. And my answer to that question is, you figure it out. And what I mean by that is, we've discussed so many different types of objects right now. You need to figure out what kind of works for you. And then if you can figure out what's working or what's not working, we can talk about it. But try one, and if it doesn't work, try a different one and see what works for your mind. Like, I unfortunately don't have the ability to read into your mind and know what's working for you. I know what I said. You're supposed to ask your teacher, but typically it's more about when you have certain kinds of issues coming up, they may give you different types of objects. So, but the idea is that we're working to develop a kind of a framework for us to build our meditation practice, because that's what we need to, like, put all of the pieces together and then be able to recognize where we are in that process. And then when we recognize where we are, how do I say this? To then celebrate that you're able to recognize where you are, irrespective of the quality. Okay? Because if you've meditated long enough, you will recognize that you will just have crappy meditations. There will be days, months, years where things are just cruddy. You're just like, I'm trying. I'm really trying here. I'm trying and it's just not working, and that's okay. But you can evaluate the quality of it and understand where you are and what solutions there are to solve that problem. And most of the solutions end up being karmic, but we don't talk about it yet. Like, in this discussion, we don't really go into the deeper karmas of it. We say, okay, well, do this to fix the problem. Do this to fix the problem. Well, how do you think the solution is going to work, Tim? Right? So, but the idea is that if you have the karmas in place, the solutions will work. So we're talking about the very first problem of meditation was not doing practice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like not doing your meditation, right? Your laziness, just not looking at your cushion and then forgetting about it and just walking by it. Now, the second problem is now that you've got your butt on the meditation cushion or in your chair or laying in bed, I'd recommend not laying in bed because it's a place you sleep. But sometimes I like to meditate lying down, especially if my back hurts, but more like on the floor and make sure that, you're not like cuddled up for a long snooze, you know. If you put yourself under the covers of your bed, you'll probably fall asleep. But, find, once you're there and then you put your mind on the object, how long do you stay in the object? And that's where the discussion is like, well, what is the problem? The problem is you think about the object you're going to have, like the eyes of your teacher, or you start analyzing, I don't know, the six perfections. And then all of a sudden your mind is thinking about, oh, wow, I'm hungry, or, ooh, that person did this thing to me yesterday, or, I'm a little sleepy. Maybe I should get some more rest, or, oh, I forgot to turn off the stove, or, oh, I forgot to feed the cats, whatever it is. So the idea is that we're on the object for a small amount of time, and then we just lose it. And that's what we mean by forgetting the object, forgetting the instructions, excuse me. The problem is forgetting the instructions. The instructions is to meditate on an object. And so then you forget the object. Takes off. That's where we are. And let's see, we were talking about, Pamonka Rinpoche had used this example of rubbing two sticks together. Choose one object and get used to that object. And if you switch out the sticks, you're not going to start the fire. Like you start rubbing two sticks together and you're like, oh, I want a different one. Oh, I want a different one. And then all of a sudden, like you can't create enough of that warmth to create the fire. And so if you keep moving from object to object in your selection of object, but also, I think this is also pointing to, if you don't continue on a single object and you keep fluttering around because that's what your mind does, you're not going to get that, you're not going to get that benefits of the single point of meditation. Oh, so Tim, I should just force my mind to stay on the object. No, that doesn't work either. So we'll talk about it. So that's our review. I don't think we did this sentence, so let's just start here. Let's start with Dr. Hoffman. Oops, my notes, just kidding. You don't want that one. Actually, you guys probably want the cheated one. Let's go here. Now you don't have my notes. Can you read starting from here? Hold on. Yeah, Dr. Hoffman, can you start here under chick?
Yes, thank you. Chikla sune chikshe la choa
Choa.
tabuda.
Choa.
What is
Choa.
it?
It's choa.
Choa.
Yeah.
Choa tabudang shakre ningyel sowa sokje nami jungno.
Nice. Min. So this is prenasal here.
Minjunno.
Yes, exactly. Let's get this out of my face. All right, here we go. Nice job. All right. basically he's saying poa, which is another word for, does anyone remember what that was last week? I know it's so long ago. I'm sorry, I mispronounced it when I said it earlier. I wasn't paying attention. It's not chua, it's poa. Does
Not
anyone
the same
remember?
poa as exchanging self and
Oh,
others.
no. Okay. Does everyone remember what the word is with a sa at the end? Oh my goodness. So long ago. It's one of, what's that?
Incense was just
It's
a
in,
poem.
it's in, yeah, it's incense, pu, right? So it's related word without the sa. Okay. But it means to change as a verb, right? So basically the idea of changing, like the kind of the smoke moving, like, you know, the smoke is moving in the incense, right? People who basically saying, don't be like someone who gets tired of one thing and keeps moving on to the next. Like if you take a day off, like one day off, or you take 2 days off, right? And you just get tired and you just never keep going, right? You don't keep going. You'll never have anything happen for you, right? If you have 20 different meditation objects. So this is a problem that can oftentimes happen for meditators, or it can happen for like people who take like tantric initiations from different teachers, and they have all these different like sadhana practices. And the idea is that you have so many different practices that you jump from one to the other. You know, I know a lot of people, they're like, oh, you know, I have 10 different practices I do during the day. Oh, really? What do you do? Well, I do this meditation, I do this thing, I do this thing, I do this thing, right? And it's not a problem in some ways, but having too many different types of practices also is a problem. Like you keep jumping from object to object. I'm going to do Yamantaka now, then I'm going to do Vajragini, then I'm going to do Tara, and then I'm going to do Manjushri. Yeah, then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, right? Like, no, choose one. Like, choose one tantra. All tantras go to the same goal. If you keep jumping around, you're not going to get anywhere because you're not going to get the benefits by jumping around. It's like you're manifesting your busy mind by having too many tantras or by having too many practices, right? It's the same thing with like, if you get tired of one thing and then move on to the next thing, like you have dharmic ADD, right? ADHD, we call it dharmic ADHD. Okay. And yes, ADHD is a real thing, and it's can be very debilitating condition for people, or mental state, or mental arising. And in some ways, I think we all have some form of, we're not able to focus. We have some form of attention deficit. We're not able to focus on one thing. Our minds are designed not to do that in some way. You know, if I'm looking around the room right now, like I have some lights and I have a bed, I have some, you know, it's nice. Well, that's a nice design on the carpet, right? There's an air conditioning, there's a window here, there's some lights outside, right? There's some water. Like I see everything that's going on. And I can, you know, I'm paying attention to everything, right? So in that way, it's a good thing, right? You're walking down the street and you're paying attention to all the cars and all the sounds and all the, so you don't get run over. And so you don't, like, you know, someone doesn't rob you, you know, all those things are normal. It's an adaptation. It's good, right? Good, you know. But if you have too much like a dharmic ADD, where you try to do every single practice you learned, I'm going to do everything that I've learned, you'll never get anything done. Like it's impossible. Okay. When you get into Vajrayana, you end up having 254, 56 something vows, right? And you're supposed to review them 6 times a day. Check each single one and make sure you haven't broken it. And then you're supposed to do your sadhana. And then in the vows, you're supposed to make 6 times a day, you're supposed to make this type of offering. And then 6 times a day, you're supposed to do this with your teacher. And 6 times a day, you're supposed to do that. And 4 times a day, you're supposed to do this. If you did every single thing, you would never get anything done. You wouldn't have any time in the day. Okay. Well, Tim, I need to meditate here. I need to do this here. Yeah, okay. That's dharmic ADD, right? But once we get into our meditation, the fluttering of our mind, moving around to different objects. Or, we're like, well, today I'll do a golden room, and then tomorrow I'll do the body of the Buddha. And then the next day I'm going to focus on this analytical meditation. And the next day I'm going to focus on Mahamudra. And then this day I'm going to focus on my breath. You see, you'll never reach shamatha doing that, because you're not accustoming yourself to anything. You're just, you're sitting on the cushion, but then you're doing something different every day. Do the same thing. That's what they're saying. Now, do the same thing, and then maybe after a couple months, you might lose the intensity for that. Then you can move on to something else. But the idea is consistency. All right. Oh, look, we have a new member of the class. Sorry to spotlight you. Hi. What's
Hi,
what's her name?
I'm Anya.
Anya. Nice to meet you, Anya. Thanks for joining today.
Тебя поблагодарили. Thank you.
Nice. You can learn how to meditate. Awesome. Okay. All right. That's what he's saying there. Let's go on to the next line here. Who would like to read? How about Cornelia? I know you were dying to read. Did she disappear? I think she just disappeared on purpose. Okay. Ah, there she is. Ready to read?
Tena,
Nice.
da, dam.
Mm-hmm.
Can you spell it, please?
Dam. That was correct. Dam.
Dam, gak, te,
Dam. Uh-huh.
dann gamikten, garpa,
Gyalwa.
gewa, babris,
Galway Trimbure. That's a hard one. Trimbure.
Sorry, maybe another person can.
Oh no,
read it.
you're doing great. You're doing great. Just make noises. It's okay. Planting good seed.
Ripur,
Perfect.
cheese kurtabu,
Excellent.
desan,
Mm-hmm.
maitla,
Mm-hmm.
chungna,
Nice. Sungne.
sone, yit yurdu,
Mm-hmm.
chaba, dela,
Mm-hmm.
gosu,
Excellent.
shukpama, lama, go, ratpa, data, mikten, ye, nampayit, Dwacha, chukte.
Excellent. Yay. Good job. Excellent. All right. Okay, so in this context, we can then say the instructions, damnak, all right? So for example, if you're holding the body of a Buddha, and you're holding onto the characteristics, the senma, the characteristics of that body, and you're using that as the meditation object, mik. This is when we say that you're getting used to gom, right? By bringing that up in your mind. So the idea is the instruction, right? The damnak, the personal instructions, is when you bring up that meditation object and as a result of doing it over and over again, you become used to it, right? So the word for meditation and becoming used to it are very similar. Gom, and gom are very, very similar. So establishing the habit and meditation are very similar in Tibetan. So if you're able to do all of this and you're able to bring this up in your mind, as your teacher introduced that to you, lame, chepa, all right? You're able to bring that object and push it to the front of your mind. So the idea is that if your teacher gave you an object like in the golden room, where you focus on the eyes of your teacher, or you focus on the holy body of the Buddha, or any of the other 4 major objects that we talked about, the instruction is you bring it up to your mind, and then you keep bringing it up to your mind. You keep bringing, it's like a habit. Like if I ask you to meditate on the pen, which is, not the object, right, we're normally doing, I say, focus on the pen. Then you focus on it, then think about dinner. And then you go, oh, I should be thinking about the pen, bring it back to the pen. Then you go off to dinner, and you keep bringing your mind back, right? It's like when you have it's like training a dog, all right? Or it's like trying to teach your child to speak, right? You keep repeating the words. You're like, apple. And they're like, bleh. And you're like, no, apple. And they're like, okay, good. Apple. Up. The idea is you keep getting them to bring it back. You say to the dog, sit. Okay, please, good boy. Sit, right? Dog runs away. Come on, we're going to sit, and you keep bringing that object back to mind over and over and over again. So over time, you keep bringing it back. So then a habit is formed, and a habit is formed, and a habit is formed until it like burns its like pathway into your neurons. It's like a neurological pathway. Those are not the words that Pabonka Rinpoche uses. Okay. But that's what it's like. Like you burning these pathways into your mind. Like the idea of, I don't know, the 2 husbands in the kitchen. Someone gets upset with you. You're like, okay. And you just have this pathway. Like someone yells at you and you go, okay, there's a person yelling here who's coming from me, and there's a person here yelling at me who's not coming from me. Which one am I going to respond to? Right? Which one? You just keep mantra. 2 husbands in the kitchen. Fucking pissed off. 2 husbands in the kitchen. I'm fine, and you just fight your mind and you keep bringing it back. But in this case, the instruction, which is not in this paragraph, but it's later on, is that it's a gentle bringing the mind back. It's not a force thing. It's not like You get mad at yourself and you're like, oh, I should be thinking of the pen. Come back. And you start like, no, it's the exact opposite. What you should be doing is you have the object, you're thinking of your lama's eyes, and then you start thinking about hamburgers, veggie burgers, or French fries, or the stupid thing that the person said the other day, or the fact that whatever you're irritated about. When you recognize that moment that you're not on the object, that's the moment of celebration. And you can go, yes, that's what you rejoice in. And you go, let's go back to my teacher's eyes. Let's just gently come on back. Focus. Oh, those are such beautiful eyes. French fries, right? And now you're off planning your next meal again. Da 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 da. You're doing whatever your mind is doing. And then the moment you go, wait, I'm meditating. You go, oh, I caught myself. I should be thinking of the teacher's eyes. All right, great. Let's rejoice that I had my alarm system go off. And let's go back. Lama's eyes. You know, in the beginning, you might focus on it for half a second, maybe 2 seconds. And then you're off on some other tangent. I see half of you smiling because that's what it's like. You're just like, okay, shit, there it goes. There's my mind again. Yay. And then you catch yourself and you consistently just gently coerce it back, lasso it back, hug it back, love your mind. Don't tell you it's bad. Yes, Trumpa, yes. Don't tell it it's bad. It's doing what it's supposed to do. It's what it's always done. It's how it's protected you. It's how it's kept you safe. Right? And then you just go, hey, buddy. That's how I talk to my mind. I'm like, hey, buddy. You know that thinking of those French fries isn't going to get you enlightened. And if you're hungry, for the love of your meditation, go eat something beforehand. Right? I'm starving right now. This was stupid. I didn't have enough to eat. Serious. Like, I'm like, and I can feel my stomach being like, you should eat something, Tim. And I'm like, I can't right now, you see. But it's that thing is like, well, if you're hungry in your meditation, then you should eat something. Should I eat a big hamburger before my meditation? No, because it'll put you to sleep. So I'll meditate right after eating your French fries. But then find a time a couple hours later when you're not hungry, but you're not hungry. You see, find that sweet spot and then you meditate. Right? Oh, Tim, I'm falling asleep in meditation. It's going to be midnight. You need to do your meditation today, Tim. Oh, I'll put some 10 minutes into it. Oh, you're going to fall asleep, Tim. The drowsiness will take over. Why do you think it's drowsiness will take over? Because you've been up since 6 a.m. Don't try to meditate at midnight after being up at 6 a.m. and not taking 3 naps today, right? Take care of yourself, you see. So the problem you have in meditation is also the opportunity to solve it, you see. If your mind is going everywhere, maybe you had too much caffeine. Maybe you drank too much Coca-Cola today, right? Stop with the caffeine. Stop with the, it's an indicator of how your meditation is an indicator of the person you were last week. Probably. Okay. The quality of your meditation right now is actually an indicator of the person that you used to be. And I'm not talking about the fact that you had a Coca-Cola this morning. Right? I'm talking about the things that come up in your meditation karmically are because of the things you did last week or 2 weeks ago or 3 years ago or 10 years ago. You want to know You want to know who you were? Just watch your meditation. Want to know who you were? Just look at the problems in your life. And then you'll see the seeds that you planted, and then you change them. And that's why meditation is so powerful, because if you start noticing where your mind goes when you forget the instructions, that is going to be a huge indicator to you about the seeds that you need to plant to adjust that. And that's Mahamudra. So like, oh, Tim, I can't stay in the object for more than 2 seconds. Great. Well, where did you go? That's more interesting to me. Where did you go when you went off the object? What trip did you take? What journey did you just take? Right? And that'll tell you more about who you are and the afflictions you have and the seeds you need to plant. Then just go attack those. Go make a list. After your meditation, I was on the object for probably 3 seconds. Great. Congratulations, Tim. Good job. That was 1 second more than last time. Excellent. Check mark. Now, in the rest of the 36,000 seconds during the meditation, where was I? Where were you? Take some notes. That person was so irritating. Wow, I didn't have, my mind was restless, kept jumping around. Okay, whatever it is, take note of it. And then you're like, okay, well, that's my seed planting opportunity. Now I'm going to kick those habits in the ass. I'm going to stop doing that stuff to other people. And that's when you do your spiritual practice as well. You go out and you start noticing that the problems you have in meditation is you at work, or you with your partner, or you with your children, right? You don't have to go very far. The asshole that's in your mind, in your meditation, is the same asshole that you are in your real life. Okay? And love yourself. Okay? Don't judge yourself. That person that's wonderful. Enjoy your imperfection and then just do something about it. All right. It's really fun for me to realize what a different person I am at 11:30 at night than I am at 6 a.m. That's another thing to look at. Why am I thinking that I'm so much funnier at 11:30 at night than I am at 6 a.m. Right? Probably it's different prana running, right? But that's part of me. And so if I'd like that part of me, let's plant more seeds for it. If you don't like that part of me, then change it. Right? Notice who you are elsewhere and then stop behaving that way. And start behaving differently with people. This is what I like to do. In my meditation, it's all right, what jerk is in there today? Right? And then we just purify it. Because you'll see that jerk outside of your meditation. You'll just see yourself as that person. And you've created that distance. And that's what's really cool. You create that distance and you're able to watch yourself. All right. And when your meditation starts getting more stable, we'll talk about it later, you'll have a whole series of other challenges to deal with. Okay, but we're dealing with problem 2. We're not dealing with, stage 4 and 5, stage 4 and 5 of 9. We'll talk about that later. There's different solutions at different stages along the way. And I said this in my last class, and I'm going to say it now because I think it's really important, is that you need to have Dharma friends. You need to have people who understand what you're going through. Because when your meditation gets good, you get to see all the good and you get to see all the good, bad, and the ugly. You get to see it all. You get to watch all of it in yourself. and you get an opportunity to purify it, but it's oftentimes not really easy. It's not easy to be with it. And that's why you need Dharma friends who can be there with you, right? And you have to do all that work, you know. So find friends. We have 61 friends here today. I'm sure you can find at least one friend. All right. What's the next line here? All right, here we go. How about Veronica?
De ce mi padon
McPay.
pedon pi
Chi.
chi ras pa sha jet
Che.
zam cha
Mm-hmm.
uh
Tup.
tupa bien young what
So those two letters together is like a J. So Junwa.
Junna
Mm-hmm.
Ming ten shit
Nepa.
Nepa yin.
Nice. Good job.
Thank
You
you.
know, it's really, really good. And I really admire you all for trying because it plants very powerful seeds. Just make the noises and eventually it'll start making sense to you. It happened to me after about 5 or 6 years. All of a sudden it was like light bulbs went off. So how do we define how does Pabonka Rinpoche define when you find the object? Like, how do we know that we have enough of the object in mind to say that we have the object? It's kind of a weird question. Like, how do we know we have enough of the object in our mind to consider it being an object? Okay, so it's kind of a weird question to ask. Like, oh, I'm closing my eyes and I'm focusing on the teacher's eyes. Well, what else is going on in that moment? Well, if you all close your eyes right now, all right, and then bring to mind your teacher or someone who's really special to you, and you see their eyes, like try to focus on their eyes. What else do you perceive around you? Well, I kind of see their eyes, but I can hear the cars going by outside. I can hear the air conditioner. Oh, I can feel that my knees are kind of cold. My hands are on my knees, but the knees are cold. Oh, my toes are cold now. Oh, I'm not even thinking about my eyes anymore. I'm not even thinking about my teacher's eyes. See? Okay, let's go back to their eyes. Can I hold on to their eyes and maybe still hear the cars outside? Can I do both? So what I just realized right now, this is actually what I realized as I was teaching this just now. It's like there are almost, it feels like there's a million different sensations that my mind is processing right now through my senses. things I'm not even aware of. But I'm like, if I just do a quick scan of everything, there's the outside, there's the inside, there's the sounds inside, there's the feelings, there's the air, there's the temperature, there's the sounds, there's the smells. There's a hotel smell. I don't know if you guys know the hotel smell. This one has a peculiarly special one. Oh, wait, like, oh, I kind of have a little headache right here in my nose. Oh, my mouth is a little dry. Like, there's all this shit going on. Like, literally, your senses are like, right? There's so much input that your senses are processing right now. Can you feel your shirt? Yes. Oh, were you not feeling your shirt before? I bet you your brain was paying attention to it. How about your left toe? Big toe. How about your left ear? Can you feel your, if you're not bald, can you feel the hair in your head? How about the hair in your face or your hair in your arms? Where does it start? Where does it stop? You see? So there is so much going on right now. And this is why meditation is beautiful and difficult. And we should celebrate that we're even able to focus on an object for like 3 seconds. Like if you can close your eyes and see your teacher's eyes, and not have your mind flutter around to the sounds outside in those 3 seconds. I listened to the air conditioner 20 times. I was like back and forth, eyes, air conditioner, eyes, air conditioner, eyes, air conditioner. So there's something really beautiful going on, and there's something very beautiful you're cultivating in your mind. You're even just getting to know it. So what Pabonka Rinpoche is saying here is that you have found Nipa, the object. All right. When you have a general dunchi versus drachi, okay, the general object in a rough way, like a general rakpa rough way, all right? When you have about half of the detail, this is what he says, che. When you have about half of the detail, when you're half of the detail would be like a rough general image in your mind, that's when you can say you found the object, Nipa. So you don't need to see every single detail of your teacher's eyes to say you've on it, right? All those details are important, but just enough. Like the color, the shape, maybe some eyelids, who knows? But if you have the capability of getting half of it, Pabonka Rinpoche is saying, look, you found it. And we should celebrate that. Like if you're looking at the body of your teacher and you can see the outline, but you can't see the clothes, that's about half, right? So this is a great place that you could play Persis with your meditation object. How much of that object can you really focus on? And also at the same time, start shutting down the outer layers of stuff. Okay. How much noise is outside? How much sensations are coming in from your skin or from your nose or from your mouth or from your ears? From your eyes? Like if you close your eyes, do you see darkness? No, you kind of see the light through it. What if I turn off all the lights? I don't know about your eyes, but my eyes create phantom light. It's dark. Oh, but there's light. Is there something wrong with my eyes? I can't, like, it's like I still can see light. That's ridiculous, right? But then think about when you fall asleep. like light kind of goes away. So your eyes do turn off, right? Kind of. Your ears kind of turn off. If there's enough noise, you'll wake up, right? But even then, like your mind is still processing the sound that's coming in, although you're not consciously aware of it, but the sound is still coming in. And if it's not a normal sound, you'll wake up. How about those of you who have babies or children? You can hear your child breathe weird in the other room, especially when you're newborns. You're like, there's something wrong, right? And then you get like, you can hear it, you can sense it, and you go over to the baby, right? Immediately, you can sense it. You can be deep in sleep, and the kid like makes a little gurgle, right? And you're like, you're up and you're over, right? That's what parenting is, right? Yes, you're taking care of them. But imagine that's what the hell's going on all the time. So how the hell are we going to even meditate? Okay. This is a huge question. How are we going to even meditate if all of this stuff is always already happening and we're always already paying attention to it, whether we're consciously aware of it or not? I sleep with earplugs because I'm so sensitive to noise. And it just takes away the edge, but I hear everything. Like, but then it's like, train your mind not to pay attention to it, and train your mind not to be, so your mind is relaxed and it doesn't respond. But we're working to get to a place of shamatha where you're only on one object and there's nothing else. Mike Hoffman could show up with a big old French fry, fresh out of the fryer, and put it underneath my nose. And if I have shamatha, I will not perceive it. But I guarantee you that before you get there, you will smell that French fry or whatever your favorite food is, or put a flower in the room. Like, your meditation will get so good, you'll smell the flower from across the room. It's really annoying. Seriously, it's really annoying, right? Because now all of a sudden your senses are incredibly powerful because now you can pay attention to them. Now you can pay attention for the first time ever in your life. You're actually paying attention to what your senses are doing, and they get annoying because now you can smell everything, you hear everything, you see everything, and you're able to focus on it. And so much information is now, like, the information that's coming in is now being filtered with a powerfully focused mind. And so you can smell things you never smelled before, and you're smelling that and you're not perceiving anything else. You're shutting down the rest of the senses. Pretty damn cool. And really freaking distracting until you get used to it. And then you can potentially help more people. Why? Because you can pay attention to people. You can see the subtleties that the other people aren't paying attention to. You can watch someone very closely, very intently, shut all the other senses down, and you're like, what's going on? And you can do it fast too. It's cool. It's really a cool thing. But it only comes from not forgetting the object. Okay. Finding your object. And then when you get into retreat and you get into more subtle states, and you start really withdrawing the senses, and you stop hearing external sounds and you only hear the internal sounds of your body. That's fun. Next level meditation distraction, hearing the sounds inside your body and nothing else. Listening to the blood move through the small blood vessels in your ear. Like it just becomes, it's like it's like more and more subtle. You're shutting down. And then when you withdraw the pratyahara, you withdraw those senses, you withdraw the vision, you withdraw the sounds, the taste, the feelings. All of that comes in and moves. I guess this is the way it feels. Then you really have, your mind has incredible power at that point. But you first need to find your meditation object. Let's continue onwards. What happens next? Oh yeah, tinnitus is great in meditation. I'll tell you that. I have it. They're just sensory disturbances. Last meditation retreat I went on, all of a sudden I could hear the vibrations, the natural vibrations on the rocks at Diamond Mountain. Talk about annoying. Like, it was so loud. It's kind of cool, but I mean, it was one of those things. It's like, okay, that's just another sound to cancel out. All right, let's read the next line. How about Kristen?
All right. Deranul Nashor Wa Delanye Pa Nipa Dam Gakje Paze.
Passer, nice. Okay, so last sentence was, you find the object when you have this sort of like half detail, kind of gross level focus on the object, right? Now, basically what this is saying is, if you're holding from holding on to that object, right? You develop the second problem of meditation. Hold on. Tim forgot a word to look up. Oh, broken. That's right. Okay. The second problem of meditation happens when you forget JEPA, the instructions. Okay. When it slips out of your mind. Okay. When it breaks. When that focus breaks from the object, when it slips from your mind. Okay. Second problem of meditation is you forget the object, and that's what it's defined as. So in order to have that forgetting instruction, you get to celebrate and say, I had the object. See what I'm saying? Like, one of the most beautiful things you can do in your meditation is stop criticizing yourself for having bad meditations, but rather celebrating that you had something good. And that is an amazing life skill to have for most things in general. But if you're thinking about, if you forgot the object, just for the love of, for your own sake, celebrate that you had the object. You couldn't have forgotten it without having it. So just celebrate yourself a little bit, please. In that celebration that you had the object that you forgot, and then the fact that you even recognized that you forgot it meant that you could recognize that you forgot it, and then you had it and you can go back. And if you pump in the rejoicing, the coffee meditation, right? The tartuk of the 4 steps, and you're constantly in that, you're like, yes, I forgot the object, but I just recognized that I forgot the object, which means I was on the object. And then celebrate it. It is then planting the seed for an upward spiral in your meditation. Because you're developing the skills that you need. Next line. How about Persis?
Tây chuyên hổ tụ trẻ trượt lấy ngã phá trượt phá thể lắc phải trẻ hóa
Nice. Trengwa.
chuyên hóa sông hóa lắc rượu bạc sụp trẻ hổ
Hoi.
hối mích thánh thuộc rẽ xóa hóa tộc lá các sẹt sọc sỏi trích bá trén mị trén ký kháng xị nặng nặng drip
Shine. We're just Shine is one word. That's shamatha.
xin này drip tag I don't know what is it
Drupka. Uh-huh.
chút hạ lá
Sa.
khác thả yak đấy khác dọc
Kaya. Right. Good job.
Kaya.
Excellent. Okay. I already said this, so I kind of went way ahead of it, but we'll just say it again. Nenpo. The Nenpo is the antidote. Okay. Is the fifth from the 8 corrective actions. All right. So the antidote here is number 5 of 8 of the corrective, or the 8 solutions to the 5 problems. Okay. There's 8 solutions to the 5 problems, and this is number 5. Galupa. I see the translators being like, you guys are like, it's amazing. Yeah, Ute is like, oh, yes. How's my hair? Probably messy right now. Okay, so there's 5 problems in meditation. There's 8 solutions, or if you're in Japan, this is how you do 8. Okay, this is 8. It's so much easier to do 8, 7, 6, 8. 8 solutions to the 5 problems. The 5th solution is the problem to forgetting the instructions. Okay. And the solution is Drempa. Your mind moves off the object, bring it back. Okay. Great. Thank you, Pavonka. Thank you, Kamala Sheila. But it's really, really important. Like, it's when you recognize the only thing you're supposed to do at this point in your meditation is when you recognize you're off the object, just go back onto the object. Okay. And so holding on to the object, okay, it should feel like mala beads in your, okay? So like when you're holding on to your mala, right? And you're doing your mantras, om, whatever they are. When you're holding on to it, like that feeling that you have holding on to it, it's not like you don't squeeze it really hard and then your fingers, after like 2 days of retreat, your hand's going to fall off, right? I did that. my hand didn't fall off, but my fingers hurt because I had so much tension in my hand, right? No, too much tension. But if you're too light, right, you'll just drop the bead. So like holding on to the object should feel like that feeling, okay? Pick up something, maybe pick up a pen, something light, drop it, good job, Tim. Pick it up. And tight enough that you don't let go, but not so tight that you create tension. Okay. And that's what it should feel like when you're holding on to the object. A similar feeling that you would have with your fingers, you should have with your mind, which is a weird thing to feel your mind, but good luck. But it's helpful. It really is. You should have a continuous ature hold on that object, right? And it takes a lot of strength. Shukchenpo. Shukchenpo is like strength. It takes strength to keep your mind continuously ture on the object. Okay, it's hard. So how much energy do you put onto it, right? And so what's interesting here is he says, each person, Kangsak, has a different capacity, an individual, individual capacity, right? Some people are able to stay on more. Some people aren't able to stay on as much. It's difficult for some and it's easy for others, right? So depending on how easy and difficult it is, will determine how quickly you're able to achieve shamatha. So I'm going to leave you with just a little bit, then we're going to go. So at this stage, you're just focusing, right, on, your teacher's eyes, or you're focusing on any of the other objects that you might be attracted to, that are virtuous and good for meditation. And the ease that you have of staying on it, or the difficulty, will then determine how quickly you can achieve shamatha. Okay, Tim, how do I make it easier to stay on the object? Take care of other people's minds. Take care of other people. Make sure people have what they need. Help people relax. Help people get what they need. Stop doing things to hurt other people. Don't do things to disturb other people's minds. And then your shamatha will improve very dramatically and very quickly. Yay! Thank you very much. Lam Rim. What's going on with my hair? Okay. Thank you all for joining. I enjoy this class a lot, obviously, and I hope you do too. Please do meditate, like 5 minutes, just 5 minutes a day. If you can do more, great, but just slow wins the race. Jackass persistence wins the race. Just keep going. Notice the obstacles, address, plant seeds, move on, keep going. Just 5 minutes. You will see tremendous difference over time. You won't even notice it. And then you'll be like, oh my God. And then one day something cool will happen and you'll be like, all right, that was because of my jackass persistence. Cool. Thank you all for joining. Very much appreciate all of you. Nice, Zoom user. Whomever Zoom user is, congratulations, 15 minutes now and slowly increasing 1 minute. I would increase 1 minute per week, not per day. Just increase 1 minute a week. That's all you need to do. All right. I will see you next week at our normal time at 6 a.m. I will be back in my home. And let's say goodbye to each other. Thank you, translators. I know that's challenging. Good job. You're doing wonderful. Wonderful seeds. Thank you, tech people. Thank you, all the recorders. Couldn't do this without you. So let's say goodbye, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Tim Lam.
Safe travels.
Gracias, Tim.
Thank you, Asian. Thank you, translator.
Gracias por la clase. Muchas
Danke,
gracias.
Tim.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you,
team.
Teacher Raj.
Thank you, translator. Thank you, teacher.
Thank you, teacher.
Goodbye.
All right. Ciao, everyone. Good night.
Good night.